Hey guys, this is a pre-recorded match. We are playing on marshlands against Odrasir. He's Rus. So we were gonna try our kind of our trade horse build, where we're going to go for an early Keshik, followed up by a market, wheelbarrow bonuses, focusing on getting our eco bonuses before we get more Keshiks. So this is the new build we've been playing around with, and yeah, we'll see what our opponent does. I think we'll just. I don't know if I want to watch it from our perspective or not. Sometimes it's also nice to like lock on the camera so you guys can see kind of like how I'm clicking and playing. But yeah, it's all right. We'll just look at the layout real quick. Marshall is interesting. I still haven't found out like a really good way to play it. Like I feel like there's a better way to take advantage of the middle. It just feels kind of risky at times. Wonder if like a dock might be the actual play to play on marshlands here. Just like a dock in the middle, and then a quick, as fast as you can, H2. Like that hybrid opening map, the water horse map. I wonder if that's a viable opening on this map as well. You know, because as long as you get that light choke out with decent timing, you can kind of defend your mid, and it kind of actually helps us. Since like the big thing that beats up our Keshiks are spearmen. If we get ships out in the mid, it might be able to help us. One thing I wish this was just kind of like more of a pond. Like if you like, it was easier to tell where your ships could go because it looks like my ship can go up to here. I don't think a ship can go from this pond to this pond though. But it's hard to tell. That's the thing. It's pretty hard to tell. So our opponent's going for deers and whatnot, and we hadn't like we had started picking up deers and stuff. We kind of messed up because I forgot about that. So now we are starting to grab deer. I wonder if we can see what our opponent's bounty is at. He's at 160 bounty. So we're denying some here. We do a little bit of a mess up here. We lose that one deer here, unfortunately. A little bit of a misplay on our part. And then we end up giving him this deer as well. Oh, we do take that one deer, okay. But he's done a pretty good job. He's taken a bunch of stuff. And he is sitting on 205 bounty. And he's tapping up with the Kremlin over here. Interesting Kremlin. Super aggressive. Super aggressive Kremlin. I most definitely wasn't expecting it out here. The plus side is it's kind of giving this whole area, like it secures this gold, but it's also kind of securing this back gold as well, and these woods, because it's going to be hard to raid these wood lines. So it kind of protects half of them, which is interesting. And let's go back to me. Oh, if we go back to it, we can lock onto our camera here too. I wonder if that's going to work with caster mode. Okay, we're on caster mode, and I don't think it's on free camera. I don't think I'm sitting around that long. Okay, there we go. So yeah, just so you guys can kind of see what I can see, by the 4 minute mark, we're getting our stable up, and we're just sending over now to scout across. We're not really too worried about what the Rus player is doing right now, because what we're going to be able to do to stop the second TC is going to be entirely dependent on our Keshik timing here. The stable's up, and Keshik's coming out. We started around the 425 mark, so that's really good. Over here, we are trying to take out this wolf, and he's able to snipe it from us last minute, but we do find another wolf over here, so we're going to try to take care of that. And then Just making units. We have got a wheelbarrow in queue now. First couple of keshiks are out as well. And we're trying to get, I think, one more villager on the food. Okay, we're gonna stay at 10 then, because it's 9 for keshik production and a villager production constant. So we're gonna decide to stay with 10, just one extra, and we're gonna go into food. We are trying to find something here, but we have to be careful because we have keshiks with no vision, so we are a little bit worried. So a little bit of a mess up. Maybe a little bit better opponent might be able to get do a better job getting the second TC down. So that's another part where I kind of like the dock opening here. It's interesting. I think it's definitely got a viability. So we find the Kremlin. Now that the scout's there, I'm pretty happy that I didn't keep running because I would have been shot at. And we do see him on the stone here. We see 830 stone, so we know he's got more than enough now for a second TC, possibly a third. So I was kind of confused as to why he's collecting so much, unless he's going to get upgrades. Just again, also a possibility. And this is the big thing. We see his villagers moving up. I've got my scouts and my keshiks, so we're going to start heading up because he might be going to the north of his Kremlin. What we do is we drop our eagles. We're going to bring our Khan, and we're going to try to drop our eagle here as well. We have a market up, and it's going to start trading. And here we see villagers moving. So again, this is why it's really important. Why this build has a really big possibility. It's a really good job in the early raid is getting that second scout out after your keshik. See, now my Khan was able to kind of snoop that out, and we see that he's going for the second TC. I know he's got his one knight, and we have 4 keshiks, so he's going to have to pull back here. And we're not able to do anything there. We are able to get the burn down bonus, so that's really nice because we targeted our scout into there. And the big thing is now that we've delayed it, we've kept it off of a deer, and yeah, that's really big. So we're gonna go into caster mode real quick. You can see he's dropping second TC here. I can see it. There's nothing I can do about this, so I'm just gonna fall back and run away from this knight. And yeah, we're just gonna understand that this is coming up, and we're just gonna accept that and just keep on going because we're gonna boom behind this. This is a really hard position to raid. TC is protecting this wood. He's got another TC right here. He's got a Kremlin over here, so raiding from the front here is a death sentence. Raiding from the south, a little bit feasible. Same here from the west. This is the only real angles of raiding is over on this side. Trying to raid under Kremlin is a really bad idea. Even under TC is a bad idea, but it's tough angles. Everywhere there's almost 2 TCs, but this is kind of more on an island. And there's nothing really around here that's collecting, so there's nothing really to raid here. So it's really interesting. We do have our principal market making trade here. It's short trade, it's only 5 gold. So it's giving us a pretty consistent trickle. But we're going to pick up the second market and send it down to the southern corner here to start setting up for a bigger trade. Behind this, we have a archery range up, and we know that our opponent is going to start making units. We're trying to get a burn down on the stable. We're looking for more angles of attack here. And so that's why we try to get some damage here on the stable. We do get it almost down to half health. Again, it'd be nice to get it down. It's not the most important thing in the world, but we know he doesn't have a lot of troops. I probably should have committed here in the burn down and like fighting his knights. But again, we're just like right next to the range of this TC. And it makes it really hard to deal with. It's interesting that this TC has less range. Is that correct? 8 tiles range. It doesn't say the range here. Anywho, so we're attacking here again. But again, this is where I should turn and fight here. I'm trying to pull him out of TC range. See, I think I should have stayed and committed that a lot harder, so that's a little bit of a mistake on my part. I feel like I could have made a lot more commitment there on the burn down. He is spending wood on repairing it, so that is actually kind of nice. It's not a huge cost, obviously, in wood, but it is something, a little bit of a drain. would have been nice to got it and burning it down. So this is a fight here that we should have stopped and taken, I think. We definitely beat 3 Roost Knights with 6 Keshiks, even though we're a little bit injured. We just have to micro them. We have another mass here in the front. And if here you guys can see, this is why I like having a second scout. I've got really good vision around the map. I'm checking around his other deer patch. Got a positioning on the front. I got about, I don't know, at least 40% of the routes outside of his base covered. We did transition on to Shorefish here with a couple of villagers. Do have a tower just in case. He does have knights out and about. The market has set up. We're resetting this up. We're going to reposition these traders to the south now. We're going to designate them, and we're moving the other market over. And you guys can see the 5 gold now. We're different. Prepare to snipe out a scout over here. And we're building up an army here. Again, we're only on 2 production buildings right now, which, as you can see, we knew that he was on a right around 2 to 3 production. So he's got 2 barracks, which is really like me having 4 stables. And this stable he's going to crank up here too. But we're just doing our best to try to keep him in the base. So we're scouting around the sides. We're trying to find angles to attack. A little bit of a mistake sitting as long as we did on deer, because he has built a wall here. We're going up to boar to see what we can find. I think we end up aggroing this boar to take some bounty from our opponent. We do see a scout over here, but we're not too worried. We're going to send us over to drop a tower on the other boar. We want to get good vision here. Market's still producing. Again, we're a little bit behind on our market production. We're at 7. So a little bit of mistakes happened here and there. We do have these traders still sitting here idling, unfortunately. They're not counting as idle because the market's in movement. And so now they're going. And they're up to 70. A little bit unfortunate there. We definitely could have been collecting a lot more gold right there. So we unfortunately take this fight here. And we're trying to run. We have to be careful about how far we run. We've got a tower right here. We've got trade down there. So we're trying to run a little bit north and avoid any issues there. So let's try and get some small raids over here at the same time. And we're trying to rally troops across to this middle point again. We do know we have to be careful. We see him going for these berries and these deer. At this point, his army was pretty good, in a pretty good shape, so we knew we couldn't fight it because we were split up in different areas. Try to get a raid here on his gold, and we were able to pick up 1 villager. So a little bit of an overcommit there. But again, it's not in his gold, on his stone. So he's collecting a bunch of stone, which signals to me that he's going to go for keeps or another TC, one or the other, or just upgrades for his buildings as well. So roost upgrades for his towers, definitely a possibility. We like this tower because we spot the boar, but we're a little bit away from it, and we can kind of protect this gold as well. It gives us a lot of good vision and gives us a good heads up if he raids down this western side. Try to get a little bit of a raid, but we end up losing a couple of Keshiks. And pretty much all of his knight armies over here. So, because we know his knight armies over there, we're going to send these Keshiks over to go raid his deer. Unfortunately for us, Scout is here, spots us out. I see that Scout and I keep going and I forget about it. And I just keep attacking. And what we actually do is run into a bunch of spearmen. So he's got his villagers there. I can start seeing him with my villagers, and I don't until it's way late. And yeah, I try to save him, but it was I did lose 2 already. And here we're just trying to escape, run away as much as we can. We're bringing over a bunch more Mangadai, so we get some damage in. We are tapping up with the kurultai behind this. I think I pulled some villagers off of wood. Yeah, I pulled a bunch of villagers off of wood. 11 villagers to help tap it up a little bit faster. You definitely don't want to be taking too long tapping up on your landmark. And like in some instances it might be worth it, but in others it's definitely not. Especially since we're going for Keshiks and Mangadai. This is against the Roost Knights. Very strong, very good knights, so we want to be able to do as much damage as possible. And Castle Mangadai don't do a lot of damage as is, so we're definitely trying to look for as fast of an in-play as we can, basically. Traders are still going. Outposts are coming up. We're trying to defend this. It's always going to be susceptible to raids. And we do see his army coming across, and this is pretty much all of his knights. Yeah, here's the other rest. So we kind of garrison, and we are going to bring our force over. A little bit of micro here to stay out of line. You can see that. You can see their health bars just melting from my Mangadai. So, yeah, it's like small tickles. Small tickles is what we're doing. Which is, I mean, okay against knights. I guess I can understand balance-wise, but it'd be nice if they shredded into the spearmen. It'd be really nice if that was a thing we could see. Because now it's just really minimal. But we are getting our veteran Mangadai. We are prioritizing that. He is getting his +1 defense, so it's going to make his guys even better. We're at 3 right now, so I'm only doing 2 damage per shot. So it takes 100 shots. Which is pretty impressive to kill a knight. Yeah, that's really good. Really good stuff there. He is tapping up with high trade house now. Let's go back to all vision. Let's see what he's up to. TC. He's got more villagers than us. We did lose a few there, but it's not accounting for all the trade we've got going on. Or is it accounting for all the trade we got going on? It might be. But we only lost 4 vills, so it wouldn't make sense. I don't think it's counting for all the vills, for all the trade. I don't know. Maybe it is. It says I only got 4 vills killed. I feel like I lost more than 4, but whatever. Destroyed value, worker kills. We were worried about him going into our trade line, but it was just a scout. So we weren't going to catch him, be able to stop him, and so we wanted to come up here for the cutoff. And we protect properly. And he is right there, but now he's got knights. And we're doing 6 damage, and they've got 5. So we're doing 1 damage at a time. I didn't realize it was that bad. We are, shredding spearmen comparatively, but it's definitely a little bit rough. And we are getting our upgrades now for steeled arrows, so that's going to help in terms of damage. Now we're doing 2. So that's definitely something. It's better than nothing. So we probably should have canceled the iron undermesh and gone for the balanced projectiles first. Maybe we will cancel and change that. And while we're harassing here, we lost track of these knights, unfortunately. And what I didn't want was these knights to run through freely. All this way down to this trade line, if you're with these knights, they're going to be taking quite a amount of damage. And be able to do quite a bit to them. But unfortunately, we don't see that. We lose track of him. We think he had gone back to his base. And while we were getting kind of eyeballing these villages here, we get raided over here. And we gotta send our Mangadai back to deal with this. There's not much else you can do about that. Now we do finish this first gold deposit. And we do see that our opponent is hitting our trade line. So we're looking at possibly continuing our collection of gold up here to the north. We are sending our Mangadai back. We hadn't realized this attack immediately, it looks like, and doing something else. He's rotating up to food here. Oof, this would have been a juicy pick. Something that I could have gotten definitely a little bit earlier. His whole army is down here doing eco damage. They're able to sneak off 3 more trades there, which is nice. We do stop a bunch of traders just right here in midway. Does have 2 knights, so he was going to defend it. But we are coming back now, and we are getting our +2 damage. So we're going to be able to do 3 damage a shot. So it's gonna be a little bit better. So it's gonna take 40 shots instead of 100 shots to kill these guys, which is it's something at least. He can't just stay under our Mangadai fire consistently. We do drop our scouting falcon there to get good vision on him around the tree line, so he doesn't catch us and get stuff for us. And now he's just retreating. And now he's gonna lose a absolute boatload of military. And we are gonna pull a villager. We do have a villager nearby to go build a market. He's setting up his defense over here. We are rallying more units, or not yet? No, we aren't rallying more units. I really didn't have much more than this. This is pretty much our whole army here. Yeah, 17 Mangadai, 6 Keshik. I don't know where the other 6 Keshik are. There's 3 here. Oh, we're raiding up here at the north. So we are trying to hit in various spots. We do have this little tower here. Here's the villager. But it's harassing, it's slowing them down a little bit. Again, every little minute helps a bit there. We do combine forces here. We're going to pressure. I should have gone for a raid up here to the north a minute ago, because I knew the boar was up here, I knew this was up here, I knew this would eventually rotate. So it was definitely kind of a mistake on my part not going for this. And maybe even earlier, you know, taking these villagers that were on shorefish and taking them up to take boars. Maybe might not be a bad play, especially against Roos. You know, it forces that farm transition earlier, which he's starting to do now, which is definitely going to affect him. He's floating a ton of resources. So I don't know if it's because he wants to look to go to in, or he's not sure what he kind of wants to do here. And he's moving out super aggressively to drop this keep, and we just don't have the firepower to stay and fight this. And it's pretty impressive what knights can do, and push him back. But you know, we probably could have turned and fought this. We knew that the keep was coming up. He had a ton of villagers, so I felt like time-wise, if we stayed and tried to fight this, it's probably not going to be worth it. So we're going to just rotate and try to get other picks. He's basically securing just stone for more keeps and some food here. So we didn't feel like it was end of the world using this map position. It's going to suck, you know, because he's going to get more keeps out of it, but I'd rather vie for the middle and other map position, basically. Again, behind this, we got absolute tons of gold. Our eco's a little bit weaker than his. Probably could have gone to, after getting raided, it might not have been a bad idea to go to like quadruple barracks or quadruple markets. It's just something that I might want to do for the next time. After getting raided, just doubling down on production to make sure you can get your units up and going. And something that was really bad is I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Keshiks in queue on one stable. 15 Keshiks in queue. I'm sorry. So there's 14. So that's imp age right there. I've got basically in queue. So yeah, for no reason, truly. So that's something that was that's pretty bad. He's re-upping his knight army, and he's coming in for a raid. We do spot it with the towers. I think I spotted it with my monk who is picking up relics. So we're gonna hit him there, and we're gonna go raid the boar now. I felt like if there's a good chance that he was on this boar. He was actually finishing the boar. So a little bit unfortunate on the timing here. He's able to take out a trader and another one, and then we're ready to deal with this problem here. But it's pretty impressive the amount of firepower you need to deal with them. We are able to shut down this food eco, but it was already pretty much shutting down on its own. So it's not like we saved, I guess, it's not like we did a ton of damage out of this raid. Just trading out these knights at this point. He is raiding over here with the bigger mass, but we do have all of our Mangadai here. So we're gonna lose some traders, sure. A bunch of gold just got bumped off of too, but the big thing is we're able to kind of repel these guys. He's not losing a ton of knights, like he can push us back here. We got 20 Mangadai, and it's just enough to make him want to retreat. So it's not huge, but it's something. So it makes it hard for him, like especially since these guys dropped off. He could still be chasing us and trying to deal damage, but he'd just be taking damage throughout this, so it's definitely not worth it. We do start chasing him up here. We unfortunately lose sight of some relics. and he's gonna drop a keep up on this gold. We have luckily running through past him up to these. We're sending a raid up to the food again, and we just had a good chase line there, and gonna deal with those guys really easily, and really nice, really good timing on that. Denying him gold when he's kind of hurting for gold is always huge. And but he does have some villagers out here on gold on the backside. His eco is really wonky right now. He's got no villagers on food basically because his food resources got really messed up, and we're kind of nice and happy with our food. We were rallying under our TC with our siege till we got a decent army out here on the field, and picks off a monk. We are able to. I thought we were able to deny one relic, only for a small second. I think, just really temporarily. And we're producing a bunch of siege knights and Angadai, so our army's sitting in a nice spot here. We're definitely in a good spot compared to his. A little bit bigger, a little bit more expensive, but he's way forward on us, and he can't engage on this army with knights. Knights are definitely not the best solution. Like, they're good for pushing us, and they'll catch us, but they won't full on stop us. And while we are chasing up here, we do have to pull back and deal with this knight. At first, I didn't. I was kind of like hesitant to commit on that. I wonder why. I wonder why I was so hesitant on that. I might have maybe I sent these Keshiks over. I thought, oh, you know what I was? I thought that this was a Springwell tower, and I thought I was gonna clean up that knight for me, and I realized it didn't, and that's why I go back. Oh, we do have a small raid up here at the top with some Keshiks beforehand. He's rotating onto food now, so that's really big. Wow, and he's committing a lot of villagers onto food. 54 villagers onto food. But where? Oh, over here. There we go. There's 21 there on food. So this knight's doing good damage. We're finally gonna show up and do something about this. We're sending a whole bunch of cav to raid the north here. He's getting a castle up. Clean this up, no problem. I guess most of those food bills are over here. He's got 50 on them, so there's 20. Okay, there's over here on the high trade house. This is where the rest of them are. That's really nice right there. We get this burned down real quick, and we're gonna start checking out. We know that there's a big gold vein over here, so there's a chance that he's over there on gold. Especially since we denied a keep drop on gold over here earlier. So we're gonna get a nice position here. Really weird micro. I think I just sent him a command over there. That's why the micro was so weird. We hadn't checked it. But we're gonna get a bunch of kills here. Do run into his knights here, unfortunately. Drop the defensor, try to mitigate the amount of damage that we can. And yeah, being this close is it actually kind of works out in your favor that knights are faster than Mangadai because the Kelps keep them nice and close for damage for the Mangadai. You will lose like one here and there, but it kind of works out in your favor in some sense. It makes the micro a little bit easier. We do bring Keshiks over here. He's gone on to Imp, and he's got 24 knights here, and we've got 25, so we know he's gone on to Imp, so we want to take this fight. We're trying to force this fight as much as possible. And he's definitely not having it. We had another raid over here. Trying to find where we can. He's gone for Spaskaya. A little bit unfortunate here. We're dealing with this, and there's a really juicy amount of villagers to kill here. And we're just trying to find him on stone. We start getting hit by the Spaskaya. We realize that our opponent's there's damage there. We see that he's got these the militia summoned, so we're just gonna fall back. There's no sense in really fighting this. This is basically just free units you get, so you don't want to fight, just want to run away from those. A little bit of weird glitchy stuff. I had attacked this gate, and somehow or another they're just doing that. So kind of a weird game sometimes. What can I say? So it's finally the attack order is finally going through in the gate. But there's two keeps here. One of them is a Splaskaya, so we're just bleeding troops there for no real reason. But I wasn't too worried about it because behind this, we've gone into a full siege army, which is going to really help give staying power to this army. 7 mangonels, 2 rams, and 2 trebs. So it's definitely really strong. He summons more militia out, but they have died. And we're just going to kind of start pushing forward here. Do our best to find his army and keep our siege alive. So we come over here where our siege is at, and we're just going to try to do our best to protect it. We do have our knights in a separate control group from our Mangadai, so we can pull our Mangadai to screen the siege here. Unfortunately, the only bad thing is Mangadai do die very quickly, but we're getting our Imperial Elite Keshiks and our upgrades and everything up. But the big thing is he was moving with so many of those knights during this attack. He loses everything, GG's out, but he was losing so many knights on this attack pushing through that we were getting free shots off throughout that whole time, and my Keshiks were getting basically a number advantage. Theirs was the big thing because the Keshiks have a really bad trade rate against elite knights, so yeah, the fact that he was moving really helped a bunch there. So, anywho, that was just 1v1 doing that kind of that trade horse build, and yeah, the the build is good, and it's decent, and this was a better match in terms of having an opponent rate our trade and kind of how I reacted to it. And there's definitely room for improvement in some aspects, but as we kind of saw, like there's a lot of openings for raids and stuff that I probably could have gotten in different areas. So maybe even splitting up just a couple of pairs of knights in different areas just as alert signals for different things. I think maybe another thing, we had a 1.15 knights queued on one stable, so getting an additional stable out here and there would really help because we had already spent the resource. They're just sitting in queue, so there's definitely a lot more to milk out of the build in terms of potential. So but I am liking it, and I think maybe perhaps against Ottomans it's kind of risky, and I might vie away from doing it in the future. But I think against civs like English, civs against Rus, French, I think that it's a really good build because you're able to get early pressure, you're able to get on the map at the same time they are, and that kind of gives you breathing room to see the trade boom. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one.